Hey guys, got a video for you that's completely unplanned and just off the cuff here. Just over this way a little ways. I can see the roof of the building from here, but there's a memory care facility where my mom is being housed, and I just got done visiting my mom, and the normal conversation that doesn't make any sense. She rapidly progressed into dementia over the course of about a year and a half. She went from basically being perfectly normal, bubbly mom that we have, my sisters and I have, to not being able to have a real conversation. And I wanted to record this video because coming out of there every single time, I'm very introspective. I'm thinking about life and the preciousness of life and how short it is, and how the decisions that we make affect those around us. And in being totally transparent and candid with this is, my mom made some decisions years ago that I didn't approve of, and I was mad at her for a long time. It was about 10 years ago that some of this stuff happened, and I was bitter about it, and I didn't totally cut her off, but I definitely distanced myself from her. And now I can't have a real conversation with my mom. And I was one of those guys growing up on the wrestling team, things like that. My friends teased me that I was a mama's boy, and I was. I'm not gonna deny that. I loved my mom, and we had a very close relationship. We had a very silly relationship. We joked around a lot, and but now I can't have a real conversation with her. And I'm glad through the course of that 10 years that at some point before she really started going downhill quickly, that I was convicted on the bitterness that I had allowed to take root. And so I let it go, and I started pursuing that, the relationship, the friendship that we had previously. But it wasn't very long after that I feel like things were mended, where we'd been communicating, where my sisters and I were starting to notice, like, we'd be on the phone with her and she would repeat the same story 2, 3, 4 times, or we'd have a conversation. I'd call her after work. She said, "What you doing?" I said, "I'm on my way home from work." And conversation would go, and then about 2 minutes later, "Well, what are you doing? What are you up to?" And I'd tell her, like I said, I'm on my way home from work. And 3 or 4 times in a 7-minute conversation where she'd ask what I was doing. And so we started noticing that, and then literally 6 months later, she's in a memory care facility where you couldn't hold a real conversation with her at all. And so I guess why I wanted to record this video is just, I feel so convicted on a couple things. One is just the preciousness of life, how precious it is, how brief it is. But the other is the idea of anger and bitterness. And I think so many people, myself included, have harbored bitterness for things that people have done, whether it's to you directly, or to me directly, or to people that we love, directly, or just indirectly in general. But we allow that bitterness to take root, and then it affects every arena of our life. And not only does it affect every arena of our life, but it also affects others as well. I think my mom had some bitterness that took root, and was the root of the decisions that she made. I think was out of bitterness, and it not only affected her marriage, but also her kids, grandkids, and even she has a great grandchild that she doesn't even know about at this point, because maybe she does, but I don't think she does. I don't think she realizes that she has a great grandchild. So anyway, but life is so precious. And I read a book a while back that talked about bitterness and anger, and the effects of it are so transcending. It affects every arena of our life, and we can't be fully present in any situation if we harbor bitterness. And the book that I read references the Bible a lot, and says that the Bible says that human anger does not produce the righteousness that God requires. It also says to not let the sun go down on your anger. And I let years pass with anger still in my heart, and I regret that so much, because now I can't have that conversation with my mom. And like I said, I know I started to mend that relationship before she started going downhill, but regardless, like, I still carry that regret of allowing so much time to pass before I worked on mending that relationship. And what I also see in people's lives is that anger and bitterness that you harbor turns people into loose cannons and makes people very unpredictable, makes people walk on eggshells, where maybe the person that's harboring the bitterness, the people that act certain ways around them, they don't know who's going to show up when they see that person. And so they're always walking on eggshells because they have no idea what's going to set that person off. And so if you want to be predictable to those that you love, you want to be present to those that you love, you want other people that you love to actually feel like you love them, you have to let that anger go. You have to let that bitterness go, because if you're a loose cannon and people don't know who they're going to get when they approach you, then they're going to distance themselves from you, and just out of their own self-preservation. And so there's not a whole lot of direction to this video, but I'm just sharing my heart. I don't really have a whole lot else that's coming to mind right now, but guys, if you're harboring bitterness, guys, just let it go. Lay it at the foot of the cross. Ask God, ask Jesus to help you forgive, and let it go. And anytime that you feel that bitterness coming up, just know, and the Bible tells us this, it says, whatever is good, whatever is pure, whatever is holy, whatever is worthy of praise, think on these things. And so every time that bitterness comes up, we have the opportunity to exercise what the Bible commands us to do, and it's think about something different. Think about something worthy of praise in that person. Think about something pure, something good, something of good rapport. I believe some translations of the Bible saying that. And so just let it go. Let the bitterness go so that you can live. Because if we're harboring bitterness, we're not truly living. Anyway, guys, I hope that this says something to somebody. But don't be in a position where you regret harboring bitterness because of what's happened because of your bitterness, or what you let pass by because of your bitterness. So anyway, guys, that's all I've got. Hope you guys have a great week. And yeah, that's all.